Okay, welcome back everyone to Strange Planet Podcast, as this is the first episode of 2026, so Happy New Year. And I'd like to say we were off to maybe a better start, but we're a couple of days, not even a week into the new year, and we've already bombed Venezuela, basically for their oil. That's really all we wanted, and to cover up the fact that Trump is on the Epstein files as well, too, of course. We cannot forget about that. But another fun fact that I've actually realized is since this clown, Dementia Don, has taken office, there has been a total of 7 countries this person has bombed. Yemen, Somalia, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Nigeria, and of course Venezuela. And you could possibly, indirectly, but you could throw Palestine in there considering the billions we just keep giving to Israel. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, touchy subject, I guess, these days. But at the same time, it's complicit to a certain degree. Am I wrong? I mean, all I'm saying is this is the next question, and it's not a happy one. He keeps at this rhetoric, bombing other nations and threatening others. First question I wanted to ask you guys was, who do you think is next, considering this guy's got no leash? And then the second thing is the scarier one. I mean, you keep this rhetoric and he keeps bombing countries, taking stuff. I mean, how long till someone sends one back? You know what I mean? Because it's only, I almost feel like it's almost likely at this point. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I think that while this is, again, another smoke screen to kind of get everyone's attention off something else, and I think it's also prepping for the future to get us involved into a war, so you can claim that he can't leave the presidency while we are at war, because that wouldn't be right. So we're going to get another 6-7 years of Trump, apparently. But regardless, who is next? That would have to be whoever has the most oil there, Alex.
That's a good guess. I'll give you that. But I'll tell you 2 others that I think are likely. I'm not sure if oil is entirely on the top of the list, but you can remember even during his last circus of a term during the last presidency, let alone the beginning of this one, he's been trying to say something about he wants Greenland. I don't know what his obsession with Greenland is, but Greenland or Cuba is on my list next that I think that he's going to probably take his catastrophes towards next. And he needs to be stopped, but the Republican Party doesn't have a spine. So if this continues, I hate to say it, question 2, seems like it's possible as much as I don't want it to be. You know what I mean? So, and it's only natural that it could even be on the table as an option. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but
you could throw China in there if you want to.
It's possible.
You would
but not
never
likely.
do anything to insult. You know, you can't say China because
I don't think China would be on the list.
You got his 2 buddies over there. You got Putin and the other guy.
Russia and but it's a weird. This is not normal in any way, and
no.
I hate to say it, but this whole fucking year it feels like it's been 7 years already. But you know what I mean? And I don't see this country making another 3 if this is what we continue to keep doing.
I can tell you right now, by the end of this year, something's going to pop off.
Whether possibly
some kind of a war or midterm elections of this year. That's probably going to be a nice, nasty fight. And then if and when we do take over House and or Senate, there's going to be some reckonings happening with Mr. President. But here's my thing. Say we do get the House and the Senate, and we do end up impeaching Trump.
Again.
Just saying we do. And we get the votes to actually get him out. Who's going to take his place? JD Vance.
Oh, that would be nightmarish too.
Do you want that? I
don't want either of them realistically, but that's why I didn't vote for either of them. You know what I mean? So, because I knew this was going to happen. But my favorite thing out of the whole thing was going back to the debates. Do you remember Trump kept saying, oh, well, if you vote for Harris, she's going to start wars. I just gave you the list of 7 this dude started already. So, we kind of backtracked on that one, huh?
It's like you said earlier, a lot of this is distraction.
Exactly, though. Yep.
His name's on the Epstein files.
He'll do anything to cover it up.
It's been corroborated by Pam Bondi, his own friggin', employee. Well, it's the Department of Defense, but they're supposed to be separate. get alone. He's got her on
Excuse
speed
me,
dial.
excuse me, excuse me. It's the Department of War now.
Yeah, right. Mr. I
Yeah,
want
and
a
it's the
Nobel
Gulf of
Peace
America,
Prize.
and it's freedom fries. You know what? Stick it.
That's what
It's the
also,
Gulf of Mexico. It's the Department of
I
Defense.
mean, it's appropriately named now, Department of War.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I
they
guess,
don't
yeah,
do defense,
considering
they
the
do
actions
war.
America's been taking, but this is not like a traditional American values and the way we act. You know what I mean? This is like a complete like control takeover, and
Here's
it's
the
not going
problem
to
with
have positive, side effects here.
here's the problem with that statement. What is America's, whatever? We're a country made up of individuals trying to come together as one. And when you break that and cut it up into groups, we were weaker. And
Exactly.
that's where this
Exactly.
problem is coming from. People say when you come into this country, America has no culture, which is true because America has no identity of its own because it's not like China or Britain or Russia. You can't say, oh, who lives in Russia? Russians. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, who lives in America? You can say
Oh,
Americans, but you could say Russians. You could say
Yeah,
Chinese.
because there's
I'll
something
I'll I'll
else
push I'll
attached
push
to
back on that
American.
notion a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
America does have an identity, as seen through foreigners' eyes.
True.
They might see Hollywood films and think that Americans are like, the people they see in Hollywood. They
Yeah,
also
TV and
might
shit.
think of certain, sections of America, like Texas. They might think Americans are act like cowboys and, um, you know,
Yeah, no,
there are definitely stereotypes about America
Huh.
that have, left, American soil and, other countries definitely perceive Americans in a certain way.
That's
yes.
true. That's a good point.
I mean,
And sometimes it's easier to see, what a culture is from the outside than from the
From
inside.
within. Yeah, yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
all
What do
right.
you have to say as far as my question earlier?
Oh, good.
Yeah, not to cut you off there. You can just save your thought.
Oh, well, just really quickly, I mean, I do agree with that. Like, yeah, you're right. We do have an identity as a country, but it's not a individual identity.
Mm,
It's almost like a hive mind identity, But we're all whatever the collective is of the people we have here. So if
right.
everyone says Trump's the man, that's kind of how we identify. Even though most of us are like, no, we don't. So herein lies the problem.
Right.
You have more of a centralized mentality in countries like China, Japan, Europe, because they're all European or Britain or Irish or Chinese or pick
Yeah, I
pick
know
a
what you,
country
they're
that's not
mostly,
America.
if anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
it's
mean,
not as
granted, there
multicultural as
are
this one.
you what's the word I'm looking at when they come on the boat. Immigrants. There are immigrants in other countries, but we're a
Oh, of
country
course.
of immigrants.
Yeah,
Even
mainly
back in the
composed of
day,
it.
immigrants came over on boats and said, "Yep, this is ours." Indians come out and say, "Hi, how are you?" It's like, "No, no, no, this is ours. Goodbye."
And then the
You know what I
interesting
mean?
thing is, even within that, you have that much multiculturalness already. But then
Yeah,
even the lifestyle of certain, states is completely unlike
it's
others. So
it's
it
so
can
weird
confuse, I
when you
guess,
go from
outsiders in that aspect.
Or even
yeah,
within states.
Yeah,
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 you can
within
go
that's true
from
too. Right, right.
true. You can go from one like even in New York. New York is a great example because you can go through the northern parts of it and you feel like you're in farm town, and
Yeah,
you
for
go to the
real.
more southern parts and you get into the condensed cities. That's
Yeah,
not including the
one of the greatest cities in the world is
the
just
suburbs.
below.
And that's like three separate like zones that feel completely weird. And granted, you go anywhere else outside of New York, the attitudes of people change, especially depending on how you look. But that's another issue entirely.
I hear you, but
So yeah, okay.
I hear you. But I guess spinning the whole thing back to the chaos at hand here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is uh we're going to be seeing more of it, but before I even say this thought, I found it interesting that he literally publicly said recently something about that if he loses the midterms that he's definitely going to get impeached. I mean, that sounds great to me, don't
I
get me wrong,
mean,
you
but
see,
obviously,
don't you see a problem with that? Cuz like that shows you the Republicans just don't give a shit. Cuz like if they cared about the country, wouldn't you think they'd be more on board with controlling this maniac? You know what I
No.
mean?
No,
Dementia
because
Don is
he's
going
making.
wild here, man.
Sadly, he's making them all money, and that's the problem.
Yep.
He's making them all
Yeah.
money. He's not doing it honestly. He's not doing it the right ways.
Right.
He's doing
Or
a lot of
morally.
cheating in most of it, but he's making the money. And there's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
that you
Well,
and I or the average Joe can do about it. And that's
Mm.
really
well, hold on. For the Republican politicians, they're afraid of him. Anyone that opposes him, he quickly gets them out of power.
He'll just fire him. Yeah.
If you did, well, no, he doesn't fire them. Other elected officials in Congress, he threatens to run primaries against them, and they lose them.
Right. Right.
Um, as far as like corporations, a lot of them are behind him because he's a sort of laissez-faire, hands-off type of um uh ruler that will let corporations do whatever they want, pollute, break some laws. Yeah, you want mergers, go ahead. But he also has shown, and this is the latest example, corporate favoritism, or corporate socialism. So, he removed the dictator from Venezuela, but not only did he do that, that's one thing, okay?
yeah.
He did it without congressional approval, which is
Illegally.
not good. Um, or even informing Congress. He informed apparently some Republican members, didn't inform Democrats. It's
Didn't he do this
odd.
like with all of them though too? Not just the Venezuela one. Didn't he
Oh,
kind of do this?
sure,
Yeah, like this
sure.
is we're going on 8 now. Like
But in any case, fine. Okay. That's one thing. But he took it a step further and said, okay, we are going to now rule Venezuela and control Venezuela. And not only that, but we are going to use its oil for the benefit of the Venezuelan people and the United States. Like, we
unbelievable.
so no, and he's actively seeking to give US oil companies access to Venezuelan oil.
Of course.
That oil is, part of the territory of Venezuela. It belongs to the Venezuelan people. And for him to just say, okay, well, we removed your president and now we're going to basically take over your oil. Yeah, you'll get some of it, but we're going to put the US oil companies in control of it. They are now complicit and sort of beholden to Trump because he
Mm-mm.
is going to make them massive profits. You just get free fucking oil. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen every day,
At all.
you know? Like usually you have to go explore for oil,
Drill and shit.
and
Brack
you
and
know,
all
and
that.
it's got to be part of like territory you can access. Well, here's a whole bunch of oil that you didn't have access to that was previously, sold on the market by Venezuela. Nope, now it's belongs to you. And so, of course, that's going to like increase oil companies' profits, and they're
Mm.
going to like it, and they're going to support him and his platform, and all of the Republicans are going along with it. It's just crazy to see them bend themselves into pretzels in support of this. Just ignoring the rule of law, ignoring the fact that this is like an action that further solidifies the notion that Trump is a dangerous, very Hitler-like president. Maduro, by the way, was also elected, before he became a dictator.
Mm.
This is what happens. Like dictatorships can occur from democracies.
Yep.
And
We're
and
witnessing our
and
own here.
you know, usually, you could say like, oh, well, if you have a military take over a country or if you happen to have a king or whatever. But no, like these modern dictatorships often happen in democracies because someone, gains power, or even maybe not the ultimate power. Like Hitler didn't have, he wasn't elected as chancellor. He was appointed, but he did gain some electoral success prior to becoming the Führer. And so, this is how like democracies get eroded and collapse.
Yep.
Now Trump is talking about, you've mentioned before, Greenland. He's mentioned this several times before, but he also mentioned it after, we removed the Venezuelan president. Like, why would you, what?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
you're already on shaky legal ground. I mean, there's no legal ground for removing, like, kidnapping a country's leader.
Isn't
I
that a
mean,
war crime?
as I mean, sure, but
Right.
there is no like,
Accountability.
well, okay, so like, why are we talking about Greenland like so soon? And then
Yeah.
Cuba. Yep.
Cuba looks ready to go. Like, I forget the exact words he said, but oh, Cuba's on its way out. Like, what the? No one was talking about Cuba, and all of a sudden, like,
Right.
you know, like Cuba's 90 miles off the coast of Florida. I think if anything, that is next, because it's just a very small country, and it's interesting though, because Venezuela was mostly aligned with Russia. And so that's why Putin isn't too happy about that. He probably has deals with Venezuela in terms of oil.
You're right.
And
Now we took it.
now he took it.
Right.
And I don't think Putin appreciates that.
He's not gonna be too happy. Yeah. Mark,
I'll tell you this though, really quick. When it comes to the oil and the distribution, it's definitely not going to be 50-50. So it's going to be, instead of it being oil for Venezuela and America, it's going to be oil for America
and some for Venezuela.
It's going to be like
sad, but it's
big
true.
Billy,
it doesn't.
Venezuelan
It really it doesn't matter. It could be 70-30. The fact is that now these
charge
oil,
them so much money.
No, well, the American oil companies are gaining access to oil that's
for
not
free.
theirs. That's not, something that they had before. They don't have to go look for it or explore for it or anything. It's just there.
It's just there.
Here, pre-existing oil companies. It's not giving it to, new oil companies that are popping up. I can't start an oil company right now and benefit from it.
Right.
No, they're these pre-existing, way too powerful businesses, corporations that are just going to gain access to, free money, basically.
More wealth, as if they need it too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sad. It's the grift is real. You know what I mean?
Oh, so real.
All the minions that still follow this person that are like middle and lower class, it still hasn't entered their brain yet that they're not getting shit out of any of this. You know what I mean? The only people that are benefiting this are the oil companies.
Right. But I mean, at this point, the majority of Trump supporters' brains are on autopilot. They'll support him.
Good point.
They I don't even know if they expect anything anymore. They're just
not going to get anything. That's for damn sure.
They'll twist anything that he does into some positive. Oh, it's pro-America. It's America first. It really doesn't matter if they get anything anymore. They're already fucking miserable, and so they want everyone to share in their misery.
Pretty much.
I think that's generally the objective of Trump Republicans. Like, even if Trump doesn't give us stuff, if he can make other Americans who we've been diametrically opposed to upset and angry and suffer, then hey, like, at least they're suffering too.
Right, exactly. That's the sad part in the long run. And I can't help but think that this, to a certain, like, I guess, more modern era level, this has got to be what 1930s Germany went through to a certain degree. Because, you know what I mean? Like, to a certain point, people probably were supporting him too. Hitler.
Well,
You know what I mean?
again,
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So what we're seeing is just a
Hitler's
modern
party.
version.
Hitler's party, gained, a lot of power in was it the Reichstag, prior to, and so there was like a legitimizing of the Nazi party that occurred. Now, Hitler kind of was appointed as chancellor, but by what was it, Otto von Bismarck or whoever there, there was someone in charge, and they basically handed Hitler the reins, even though he technically didn't have to win an election for that. But then
yeah.
Hitler, kind of consolidated power after that, and basically made it so that he didn't have to run for election or but it didn't even matter because he had a support of the German people, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Same here. Donald Trump has the support of a lot of American people, maybe not all of them, definitely not all of them,
Definitely not all
but
of them.
enough of them such that it looks, it legitimizes him.
Right, right.
Donald Trump won, the last election. He got a majority of, well, not a majority of the votes, but a plurality of the votes.
Yeah, that's a good wording.
It wasn't over 50%. But he or was it? I doubt it. I don't think it was over 50%.
No, I don't think it was either, to be honest.
But he won the election, and he has enough support, or at least he did, of the American people. And that's why when other countries look at us, they're like, oh, well, you put Trump back in power. You knew what he was like before. He was, awful.
Also,
his first
throw
term.
in this caveat that I will assume that he cheated because I'm pretty sure he did. But no proof to really put it to play.
I know what you're saying, though.
I'm throwing
I kind of agree
out there because I don't think that the American people really elected him. I think he had.
But look at how many people support him.
11,000, whatever he needed the last time.
Sure, but look at how many people support him despite his fucking antics. Like I'm telling you, there's something
some
wrong.
Evil fucking people out there.
No, there's something wrong with the psyche and the mentality of many of the people in this country. There's something that went awry.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
with enough people's brains where they're just like openly supporting, this 34 times convicted criminal for president who is dumb as shit. Okay.
You said it.
Like he is not a smart man at all.
No.
A fucking moron.
He doesn't have all the best words.
He's an infant in terms of his temperament.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Like, so like the fact that people could look at him and think, hey, I want him to represent me and represent our nation. Like that's just it's just befuddling.
But there's a few things though that fuel that chaos and sometimes try to wrap it up with a neat little bow, and that's social media and platforms like Fox News, because you know what I mean, they'll take his chaos and try to make sense of it, and then if you're dumb enough to listen to it, you're just following the misinformation trail. And then if you live in bumblefuck Arkansas,
I mean, how could you not listen to it? The social media gets churned and pumped into people's phones, and
it's everywhere. You can't get away from
it. That's the thing. And it's repeated enough times. So, eventually it
people
absorbs
believe the lies and the
it's absorbed
misinformation.
by people's psyches.
Since COVID, that there has been a background kind of brainwashing of everybody. Nothing like, it's in the blue pixels, man. You swirl it, it hypnotizes us all. No, I think it's been, like you said, it's just a repetition of the lie and keeps pushing stuff forward and keeps repeating it. And people are like, well, I guess it must be true. We said it about 10,000 times.
and
For real, though,
just like
man.
me. He believes what I believe. He believes in God, which he doesn't. He believes in putting America first, which he doesn't. He believes in being a good old boy.
Right?
Yes. He believes in being a good old boy. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. He's about putting the races against each other and benefiting from the war. It's all about, see my right hand while I steal with my left hand.
Exactly. Just keep looking at the right, though. You know what I mean? Just,
I'm going to keep entertaining you here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look
I
at the
mean,
shiny. Look at the shiny. Ignore
we
this.
haven't
Ignore the
And this
fact that
country's
I've been
dumb
banging
enough to
little
fall for it.
kids for the last 20 years plus with my friend Jeffrey Epstein. There's a list out. And even if the list comes out, he's going to put so much doubt behind it that no one's going to believe it's true. It's getting to the point where he has the power to negate the truth.
That's
well,
a
yeah, I
scary
mean, he
thought.
has his
That's true.
Truth Social,
That's a
where
very
people
scary
can
thought.
retruth things.
Yeah, because like you realize
A
we're gonna
whole-
fall down a rabbit hole we may never climb out of if that's the
A
case.
whole fucking whole media fucking service dedicated to bullshit
Yeah,
called Truth.
social media network of his
Yeah.
own.
Called Truth. I mean,
he also has X because of Elon Musk. So
I don't know. Aren't they
Yeah, see,
still
but
like
that's
against each
what I
other
was
right
saying.
now?
no, they made up.
That's what I was saying though about the whole social media platforms. Because if you look at all the ones that exist, the only one that America doesn't have is what TikTok. But all the makers of the other ones all suckle to the Trump teat. So they're
No,
gonna.
they're not. No, they have TikTok now.
Do they have TikTok
Yeah,
now?
we still have TikTok. It's just I don't use
I
it.
thought it was Chinese. I thought China owned that.
You know, it is.
No, they negotiated the sale of it to
Google
I didn't
something?
know that actually happened.
no, I think Larry Ellison, which, billionaire Trumper,
See, and there you go. That fuels more to what I was saying in the end.
whose son I think is now owns Paramount. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so that they're talking about liberal media. What liberal media?
Yeah, there
What?
really isn't any now.
Yeah. I mean, they bought up all the media.
All the MAGA people, yeah, that's the thing. And then they put out
like the
break out the
Washington
bullshit.
Post.
Well, no, what it
Whatever
is, they're
happened to-
trying to
whatever happened
censor
to these
everything they're
businesses having a
doing.
fucking backbone.
They're trying to hide everything they're doing though by buying all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like the videos will still leak, don't get me wrong, but I guarantee you within the next year or so, you're going to start seeing less and less because they're going to control what you watch, just like the TV. You know what I mean? That's where we're getting right now. They have the control of everything and they're going to puppeteer as many, brainwashed people as they possibly can. Not us, not our viewers. Luckily, there's still a good portion of America that I feel like is still on the right track, but apparently not enough because look where we are. You know, you know what I mean. You believe the lies and the bullshit, and then we get stuck in the situation we're in now, which is also, if you think about it, even this whole episode as a whole, it's once again history repeating itself because you rewind the clock, what, 20, 25 years? Bush was doing the same thing for oil. You know what I mean? So now what? We fast forward 20 years and now Trump's doing it. You know what I mean? So in another,
Right, but
20 years, is it going to happen again? Like, it's just a level of greed and lust for oil.
Once
That's
they
really
get
what it is.
once they get full control of the oil and they actually start doing whatever they're going to do with it, I guarantee you, oil here is going to skyrocket.
Oh, hell yeah, it will. It will before
And it's going to be
then.
under
It will
the
before then.
pros of we need the money to establish an
Oh
infrastructure.
no. It's a midterm election year. Oil prices are going to go down.
That's a good point. Yeah, because they want to do that for the election. That's a very sad but true point. But we'll see. Because if not, you're right. It's going to make him.
I
look
mean,
like shit.
we now have access to a greater supply of oil.
You
With
would think it'd
greater
be cheaper because
supply,
of that, though.
with greater supply, prices will go down.
Well,
It
that's
will.
in a perfect world that you would think that. But this is a greedy country.
Here's my
bro.
problem with that
Greedy
theory.
nation. I don't see it coming down by much, even if it does.
Look
No,
at
no,
your
no,
grocery.
no, no, no. Look, no, no. Hold on, hold on. Here's why. Here's why. These oil companies are basically getting this oil for free. Again, they don't have to explore for it. All they have to do is hook up their pre-existing apparatus to, extract the oil. I mean, they already have, all the infrastructure in place there. All they need to do is say, okay, ship the oil to the oil company, the U.S. oil companies, that's all that has to be done. So they don't really have to make any big expenses. So all of this oil is profit, okay?
Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah,
and
all of
and,
its
and
profits. So why would you lower your prices?
Exactly, exactly. And this is
hold
a
on,
greedy
hold
nation.
on, because in theory, the supply, goes up, which means that the prices will go down.
Keywords
And
theory.
Yeah, that's the key word
right,
in that sentence.
I mean, that's
Now put
basic
someone
economics.
greedy
Yeah,
behind
but
that desk.
you inject the word greed into any of this, and it dismantles that
Yeah.
instantly.
Well,
If
look
you
Right, but
at
just
it's
got a
not
whole bunch of free
it's not
shit,
yeah,
look
right,
at
but you contend that the price of oil is going to skyrocket.
it's going to
First
go
of all,
up.
it's not, according to, at basic economics, and the fact that it's an election year and people, the Republicans don't want oil prices to skyrocket during an election year.
oh,
It's not going to.
they
I
they
I
don't
I
care.
don't think they care either.
Don't
I'm with
care.
Mark on that one.
I
I don't
don't.
think
They
they
don't
care. All
care.
they care about is money. So
Yep.
if they got a whole bunch of free
Yep.
barrels and they decide to jack the price up, that's just all the more money they're going to make. They won't because of
No.
the
Here's
election
my
year. I agree with
example.
you on that.
Here's my
After that
example.
election year, forget about it. It's going to go
When
right back to what it was.
prices went up for
Yeah,
groceries, did
that's
they come down? Did they come down significantly? No. They
Hell
stayed
no.
high.
Yeah, hell
Why?
no.
Because the people who were pushing it realized how much money were they making, and they could not shorten their margin of profit for their shareholders.
okay,
Yeah,
but here we're talking about supply. Supply is
Means nothing.
it
decreased.
don't mean nothing.
Means
It's free
nothing.
money to them that they
No,
can
no, I will
overcharge
agree
if
with
they
you that the
choose.
basics of economics depend on supply and demand. Yes, but when you have a shit ton supply and your price is already $2.50 at the pump, not everybody knows you're getting it.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
point
all
too.
about freedom,
Yeah,
about
and they can
freeing
do
the
whatever they
country
want,
from this
really.
dictator. It has nothing to do with oil.
Yeah.
No,
If
nothing to
you
do
were
with
talking
oil.
about like
Your
a
prices at
product
the
or a
pump
gaming
will stay the
console,
same.
like
Right,
that
but
would be different. But this is just free oil, and then it's already
It's
overpriced as it is.
corruption. This if
That's
you have
ding,
if
ding,
you
ding, ding,
eliminate the
ding.
corruption, it's just the basics, like you said. But it's not the basics. This is corrupt system, and it's all going to come down to maybe I'll give you the lower like 10 cents.
No,
They're not
it'll
going to
go
lower it to a
down,
I
like he
dollar
mean,
said.
because
I agree with him. It'll go
I
down for
mean,
the election year, but
it'll
it'll
either
bounce right
stay
back
the
after.
same or go down this year
Yeah,
until
but it'll
after the
bounce back
election.
right after that election year. I
yeah,
guarantee you.
Okay,
next day
Yeah,
possibly,
yeah,
double.
literally the next day. Yeah.
possibly,
I guarantee you. The only reason why it's going to
but
come down is to try to make the Republicans look good. That's the only reason why.
right, but
Yeah, you know what I
you have
mean?
to remember this is an international market. Like, they
That's
have
true, but they just
OPEC.
got a whole bunch of free supply.
Okay, but
International market don't really
okay,
matter when you get free
okay,
shit.
but hold on. Currently, if I'm not mistaken, we have restrictions on purchasing oil, before this happened from Venezuela. We cannot be the customers of Venezuela because of, our political opposition to, their country. Okay.
I don't think Trump cares. Come
Now,
on.
now, now, okay. But what I'm saying is that now we will have access to all of this oil in our market that was previously not available.
Okay.
So, which increases the supply. Now, if you try to raise the price in oil is a global market, we buy from, you know, almost everywhere, not Iran or whatever, but we buy from Middle Eastern countries, we buy from Canada. Um, it's a global market. So if US companies increase their price, that doesn't mean that, other countries will increase their price because they'll keep the price the same so that, we buy from them instead of the US companies. So, you know, they just can't unilaterally raise the price.
Well, in a like a global aspect, yeah, that makes sense. But if you're talking about just the country itself, they can do whatever the hell they want, and they're going to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but okay, but
Yeah, it's like
like I said, you can't just like unilaterally raise the price in a global market, um, because then you'll be out of customers or you have many fewer customers
well,
because
that's a
if
good
you can
point too.
legally buy oil from That's why, like, I think Citgo was owned by Venezuela or had some partnership with Venezuela where it got Venezuelan oil. And that's why, back in the day, Citgo gas was cheaper, I think on average.
Yeah,
Um,
that does make
and
sense actually.
so, that was when we were friendlier with the Venezuelan government.
And not, bombing them and kidnapping their
But I guess we're
dictator.
friendly now because, we kind of control them.
Yeah, we're
But
friendly now because you're all slaves.
Yeah, pretty much. We just stole your country because
But,
that's somehow
but,
okay.
but what worries me about this whole situation, it's not going to be a fair situation because Trump had brought all these oil billionaires and said, "Hey, invest billions in me to become president, and when I do, I'll make you a great
Bingo.
deal."
Yep. Bingo.
not,
So
not even
while I
billions,
agree the global
millions.
market's probably not going to change, and I think the U.S. market is going to fucking
Yeah. After the election,
after the election, it's gonna skyrocket. Let me say this: Bush, how high did that get? Almost
that's when we
$5.
saw it really get
That
out
was
of
back
control.
then.
Yeah. Remember that? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very good point. And we didn't have the free barrels then.
Yeah,
So now we have free barrels, and I guarantee they're going to do the same thing.
they
It's like,
should
you
lower
think
it. They
Trump's
should
going to
lower it
stop them? Trump
significantly,
don't give a
but
fuck.
you know, fuck.
Trump only cares about himself and his crime family. That's about
Yeah,
it.
and he all he wants is his his little bribes, his little envelopes of money that they keep giving him. So he'll be like, hey, you guys made how much on this Venezuelan? $100 billion. Give me 1%. Give me 0.5%. Whatever the situation is, he's gonna bleed everybody because they're pretty much under his thumb anyway. So
He's the king of misinformation and grifting. That's for sure. That's really
yeah,
that's
the
what we're
grift
dealing with
master.
here. Yeah, like if he was good at anything, that's it. There's nothing else the guy is good at. Just that.
Sadly.
And all right, everyone. That's all we got for this week on Strange Planet Podcast. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment on your opinion on things in the matter as well. We have new episodes normally every Friday on YouTube, and we will see you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching.